Hey guys, it's Hobbs here. Today what I've got in front of me is the full review of the Plussino Telescopic Fishing Rod. I got this for backpacking, camping, and just generally in my car, so I've always got a rod with me. It's nice and compact. I did an unboxing video on this a couple days ago, but I've had a few days to play with it and fish with it, and we'll have some footage of that later in the video. But let's get into it. So this thing is very lightweight, it weighs 148 grams. This is the 5.9 feet version. When collapsed, is very small, a little over a foot. Made out of aluminum and carbon fiber, and it feels solid. I mean, the aluminum does look a little cheap, but overall a lot better quality than what you're going to get for a similar price at Bass Pro. I went and looked at some of those. They're around 20 bucks just like this, and they're all plastic. So really nice that this is made out of some nicer materials. Right off the bat, you can notice we do have the eyelet cover. If we go ahead and pop this guy off, you'll see we do have 4 eyelets. Extend out. They lock into place pretty solid, and they aren't too hard to collapse. If we bring this guy out right here, you see Plussino 180. So it's very nice for what it is. I'm going to go ahead and pop this back on just for a second while I'm looking at some other features. Underneath it there, and I apologize about the wind, it's picking up a little bit out here, but underneath here you can see we do have the carrying case. It's nice that they include it, but it is pretty cheap and flimsy. You can see here I already broke one of the strings off just trying to tie it, but it's nice that they include it. You know, it doesn't hurt to have a little extra protection for your rod when you're transporting it. So some cool features that this guy has. Right off the bat, you can see here is how you go ahead and put your reel on. Unscrews all the way down and screws up. It's got a little O-ring in there to keep the seal. Pretty solid, doesn't feel too cheap, feels like it just did the job done well enough. I didn't have any issues of my reel loosening while I was fishing for several hours with it. Up here you'll notice this spins as well. At first I was a little confused by that, but it actually is a neat little feature that we'll get to here a little bit later on. So as we move down the rod, another cool thing this thing has is if you go ahead and you grip her up here and you twist, you'll notice that the bottom grip portion actually unscrews and extends. So if you want to go ahead and stick this down in some rocks, you just want a little bit more purchase on the grip, you do have that availability, which is a nice, you know, little hidden feature that it's not immediately noticeable. Moving on down to the bottom, you got some nice grip here, and actually a removable little top. And you can look down in there. There's just a little bit of space. It's about say about an inch with the rod collapsed, but I actually found it was just enough space for me to store 2 of these little grubs in there. So very nice to have that ability to transport those. Excuse me. Screw that back on there. So as we come up here, like I said, you go ahead and you unscrew this down. This is the reel that I'm going to be using with it. This is a Shimano Sedona 1000 FD. You can go ahead and seat her in there, push that up, and just give her a little bit of a spin. It tightens down real nice. No real worry of it coming loose or anything. Like I said, I haven't had any issues with that so far. And overall, I'm pretty impressed with for the price. I mean, I paid $19 shipped with Amazon Prime, and very cool. I'm gonna go ahead and throw the lure on here, and we'll come back in a second. Alright guys, we're back. So as you can see here, I went ahead and I put the lure on, and right off the bat you could probably see that nice little feature I was telling you about. If you look right here, you can actually hook your lure right into this little guy. It spins around so any angle that you want it, and it works well with the cap on. So if you want to carry it like this, you're pretty much always ready to go. All you gotta do is let out a little line, extend your pole, and you're ready to fish. Like I said, very impressed with this for the price point so far, and definitely beats options that are local. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna take this down to the lake. We're going to do a little bit of fishing and see what we can catch. Alright guys, so we're down here at the lake. Got the rod with me. You can see she's still set up in the same configuration she was down at the table. I'm gonna go ahead and pop the eyelet cover off. I do apologize about the wind. I may cut out some of this audio just so it's not quite as annoying. But take our hook off. I'm gonna do first one, lock it into place. Second one, try to keep it as lined up as we can. Alright, so we got it fully assembled. Everything's functioning good. And let's do some fishing. Go. Back to fishing. Back she goes. Got one. Alright.
What kind is that?
It's a smallmouth. Bad. Alright guys, so that footage that you just saw was shot about 3 weeks ago. I had some problems with my laptop and my editing software that I use, so I was unable to piece it together. But, you know, I'm glad it's given me a couple more weeks to use this product and get to see what I think about it. And I have to say my review is still pretty positive. There's really not much I can say bad about it. I will say, here on the back, you'll notice that I'm missing the plug that went in the back there. That came off at some point. I'm not really sure when. I don't know if that was me just being reckless with it or if it was just coming out. It was just a cheap little plastic plug. Nothing crazy, but that is kind of a bummer. I lose the ability to store anything in there without creating my own plug or whatnot. But other than that, I mean, this guy has stood up great. I've took her fishing quite a few times, been down to the river, caught a couple fish. Nothing too crazy, nothing too big yet. I am going to Colorado here next week, and hopefully we'll get a chance to do some fishing with it out there. But like I said, for 20 bucks, it's really hard to beat the quality that goes into this. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to recommend it. Thank you as always for taking time out of your day to watch my videos. If you have any questions or comments, please go ahead and throw them on down there, and I always appreciate a subscribe if you have the time and you like my content. Thank you, and look forward to a lot of great videos coming up from this trip. Have a nice day.